and welcome to another one of these videos where I talk about cars and automotive tech and all of that. Today I'll be talking about what I've written in my column that's appeared today in the newspaper. Today being the 6th of November. And what is interesting is I'm driving a car equipped with that technology. No, it's not the AQI meter in the Kia Sonet, which is showing me an AQI of 106, which is better than yesterday where the AQI was over 300 even in the evening. But I'm talking about the gearbox on this car, which is the intelligent manual transmission. The IMT gearbox, which I describe as a clutchless manual, because that is what it is. It's quite a fascinating gearbox and it's also quite fascinating that I have never driven a car like this before. I've not driven, fancy German or Japanese cars with this tech. It's in a very affordable Korean small compact SUV. It's coming out in the i20 about right now, I guess. The i20 launch is about to start. That's what I'm rushing to office for. And it's available at an affordable price. It's 10 lakhs. To get something like this is quite interesting and quite affordable. Now what it does is quite interesting. It literally removes the clutch from the equation. Now you'll always hear reviewers or even enthusiasts saying, no, I want the feel of a manual, and automatics don't give the feel of a manual, which is true. Automatics, different types of automatics have very, very different types of feels. For example, the AMT, the automated manual transmission that Maruti launched with the Celerio almost 5 years ago now, has an extremely different feel than, say, a traditional torque converter, which has a different feel from, say, a CVT transmission, whether it's a step CVT transmission that Hyundai uses, or even the Xtronic transmission that Nissan Renault use. And of course there is the dual clutch gearbox that is there on most luxury cars, and on Hyundai Kia cars now as their top end cars. Every automatic transmission has a very different feel to it. For example, I feel AMTs are, this is not a new technology. AMT, Maruti made it affordable, and for that you must give them kudos. They took the clutch out of the equation for a large number of Indians. We had apprehensions about automatics. They were expensive, they were not economical, yada yada yada. The AMT took that away, but the AMT also took away enthusiastic driving. I mean, if you have driven any AMT car, even cars that are relatively nice to drive, like the Swift, with an AMT they feel sluggish. The gear changes aren't fast, and if you've driven a manual and you know how to. I mean, even a bad driver can change gears fast. AMTs do take out the shift shock. Shift shock being that the judder you get when you change gears. Which brings me to this IMT. This is quite interesting. I mean, I'm changing gears up and down. I mean, there is a bit of shock, but it works quite all right. I must admit that over the last few days, I have noticed as the weather has started to get a bit cooler, that the IMT does have some startup issues in cooler temperatures, but it's just it's not something that doesn't go away once the car gets warmed up. I'm wondering, as it gets a bit colder, whether I need to start the car up and keep the engine running for a while to get the car up to temperature before I can use an IMT. But coming back to IMTs, I've done videos on this before. I drove the IMT for the first time on a Hyundai Venue. Then I had the Kia Sonet GT line, which was the car I drove on the media drive for the first day. And now the Kia Sonet Tech line car, which is my long-term Kia Sonet. I've had this car now for just short of 700 kilometers, and that's what I want to get. I mean, over 700 kilometers, I think I've become fairly used to this IMT gearbox, and so has my wife. I mean, she takes this car. This is the car that is parked outside and not inside. What's he doing? Why is he putting his hands out? Parked outside, so it's a car that's easier to take. She found it peculiar in the beginning. I mean, and I always ask my wife for her opinion on cars, whichever car I drive, because it's always interesting to get a different perspective, and definitely the perspective of somebody who doesn't necessarily evaluate cars for a living. That said, my wife has driven a lot of cars, because most of the cars I get, she does take out for a spin. And I trust her with the cars. I trust her, and I do respect her opinion immensely about cars. She found it a bit peculiar, but she's also become used to it. There is no clutch. When you are stuck in urban conditions, in an urban traffic jam, like I'm on the DND right now, and here we are. We've come to a police checkpost for some ungodforsaken reason. Nobody knows why the police are running checkposts across the country right now, across the city. Sorry, it's just a form of economic terrorism. Oh yeah, let's get people to spend more money on fuel, by slowing traffic down. Yay! That's Delhi police for you. Okie dokie. Get to another point is that this IMT, does it have the feel of, say, a traditional manual? No, it doesn't. But unless you are very, very good at changing gear for performance, you don't need this. Does the job very, very well. Can I change gears faster? Yes, I can. I've gone through enough training sessions and courses to know how to do even heel and toe. I'm not very good at it, but I guess I'm better than average. This is good, and once you get up to speed on these high-speed roads like the DND or like the Barapula, which I was on, you put the car into 6th gear and you're going fine. Is it as good as, say, having an automatic? No, you have to still change gears. You're still using your left hand. You're not using your left foot, which is the one that really hurts when you're changing gears. Personally, would I prefer this over traditional automatic? No, I'd rather have a regular car. I didn't know the Creta's rear light bar did that. I didn't know it also lit up like an Audi. Anyway, that's interesting. There's a Creta in front of me, by the way. So sorry for the digression. This is it's a fascinating technology for sure, but it's also affordable, which I think is the most important thing about this particular technology. The fact that pretty much anybody and everybody can buy it. Other key points to note, which I would say are around fuel economy. I have now done exactly 700 kilometers, almost all in urban conditions in Delhi, even though Delhi is a far faster city than most other metropolitan areas in India. All other metropolitan areas in India, Delhi is a much faster, much higher speed city. So 700 kilometers in almost exactly 24 hours of drive time with this car, and it's not too bad. It's giving about 12.3 kilometers per litre, which I'm told from the guys who have long-term dual clutch transmissions, Sonnets or Venues, is a lot better than those. So it's about at least a kilometer a litre more effective than a DCT. I'm sure if I did not drive this car enthusiastically, and that's another point I have to make, the IMT, while not, I mean, would I say it's completely an enthusiast car? Not really, but it's not bad to drive. You can get this up, you can have fun with this car, you can have fun with this transmission. And for all these reasons listed above, you can read the column. I've pretty much narrated it out over the last few minutes. Is why I would think that the IMT transmission brought to India by the Hyundai Motor Group, I don't know if other car manufacturers will bring this in, is definitely the automotive technology of the year in India this year. It's something that's fascinating. It's something that I find interesting. Would I buy an IMT? Maybe. Why not? I mean, it takes away the biggest bugbear of manual driving, which is constant pressing of the clutch, particularly in urban conditions, and it retains that little bit of enthusiastic driving that you will get in a manual. Yes, a DCT is more fulfilling to drive, but it's also almost a lakh rupees more than this car. So this IMT is actually something I'd really enjoy. It's something that you can definitely consider while buying a car. It's a good buy. It's a good technology. I won't recommend the Scient over the Venue, over the i20, which will all have this technology, but it's something that is truly innovative and truly interesting that's in the market right now. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll be signing off now.